Friends, this is the Miss. Yeah, don't look at my hair. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and it is another one chicken, 4 meal video. Meal number one. Now I've added extra carrots and potatoes because I want to have leftover carrots and potatoes for tomorrow's supper. I've seasoned my frozen chicken and I have put about a half a cup of water in the bottom. My chicken is frozen. I'm out of onions, so there will be no onion for Papa tonight. But this will be meal number one. So there's supper number one. Fresh out of the oven. No, I'm not using that juice for gravy, much as Papa would like it. It's going into tomorrow night's supper. I made extra potatoes and carrots because those 2 potatoes and those 2 carrots are going to be a part of tomorrow night's supper. That will be supper number 2. Supper number 1, roast chicken and veg. Here is the leftover chicken. Now there's almost a full breast on there, like a full half a breast on there left. So this is going back in the fridge for pot pies tomorrow. This, we're going to have a broccoli stir fry over rice. Now once again, I don't have my tripod. I went all the way down the basement and then came up without it. But we like an Asian style stir fry when we have many of the ingredients. So we've got peppers and onions, and I'm going to throw in a half a bag of broccoli. Let's give this a little bit of the Asian spice that I like so much. And that chicken will get cut up and thrown in. Now the chicken is cooked, so we're going to throw it in once most of this is done. Isn't that beautiful? Now we're just going to drop our chicken in there. And once again, as we did with our beef Asian stir fry, we're going to add a little bit of oyster sauce and some pepper. Unfortunately, I need both hands to grind the pepper. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a stir, turn the heat right down, and put a lid on it until Daddy comes home. Now I've decided that before I put the lid on, I cooked 1 cup of water and a half a cup of rice and a teaspoon of butter in the crock pot. Somebody recommended I do this when we did the beef stir fry to give to brown up the rice some in the juice. The rice picks up all the flavor off the bottom. Any juice, anything like that. Isn't that lovely? There it is, chicken vegetable stir fry. Meal number 2. Okay, so now on to the pot pie. Here is our chicken, potatoes, and carrots and juice. And this actually might be, I chilled it, but I didn't really mold it very well because I didn't want the butter to melt. So I'm just going to kind of fold this a couple of times because it is rather crumbly. And that's one of the things I love about this. This goes in the fridge. So it's so much nicer for pastry. I'm just going to fold this a couple of times. We don't want to work the fats in. Yes, I know. I just realized I should be wearing an apron. That's okay. It's getting near the end of the day. Actually, I need to cut this in half, don't I? One for the top and one for the bottom. Now what I've got here is just an old cake pan. I put a piece of parchment in it just to keep it off the rust and stuff. So let's just get this rolled out. Let's just see how we do with that. There we go. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And we'll make sure the crust is bigger so that we can go down in and around, okay? So let's just get our crust rolled out. All right. So we'll just lay this back on the plastic and roll it up. And we'll put this all back in the fridge until our filling is made. Actually, I'm just going to put this in the fridge. Let's start on our filling. Now these are already cooked, and that's why this is going to be such an easy meal. Because the meat and the veg are all cooked. Everything but the onions I'm going to put in. That stuff flying all over the place. No, Gracie, you're not getting any chicken. Now, look at this. Whoops. Look at this. Do you hear that suction? Look at our jelly for our gravy. Well, let's get the meat off of here and onto the cutting board. And there is, I probably could get a fifth meal out of this chicken, but I don't want to short our pot pie for meat. You know what I mean? Make sure you don't put any bones in there, folks. I'm making a chicken pot pie.
Oh, super.
All right, well, don't get too chilled. Let me know if you want me to run you a bath, because I have a feeling you're going to be chilled when you're done. Yeah, that would be a good idea, I think. I'm starting to feel it in my bones, you know. Don't worry about the little bits of meat in there, but look at that. That's gravy makings if I ever saw it. Okay. Now, we're just going to cut up this. I found a bone. Another reason for cutting up the meat. Bone in the crock. Right, we don't want it too small. But look, see? There's only two of us. I could have done my little springform pans, but I just wanted to do one. Okay, let's slice these potatoes. That's on top. I probably could have cut them lengthwise and covered more surface of the pie, and the best thing about this is everything will be ready in half an hour because everything's cooked. You just basically have to cook the pastry. There's our carrots and our potatoes. Well, not quite the potatoes yet. And now we're going to all over. Now, our meat gel. And we're just going to dice up or thinly slice our onion. And we'll see you guys at the other side of the stove. Okay, so now we're going to turn this on and get it all heated up. Alrighty. We just want these onions to be a little bit on the softer side. We want to start the cooking process. Alright, here we go. Bring that up to a really rock and roll boil. And then put about, I don't know, a couple tablespoons of flour. And here come the gravy. Now, you want this thick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spatula and I'm just going to start blopping the onions in this really thick gravy all over. Because those onions are still going to give off some water. And you don't want your pie too watery or your pastry won't cook properly. Now, two slots for vent and one because that's the way your mother taught you. And on we go. Now, remember I said, if there's, edges that are, we're going to tuck them under. I am not going to brush it with egg wash. Why? Because eggs are expensive. Okay, so this is going into a 350-degree oven for about 40 minutes. Okay, folks, this is hot and Papa is ready. But you guys don't have to see Papa try this pie. I just need to show you it. How hungry are you, dear? No, Gracie. This is not for you. Do you want half a pie? It's not very big. Under the parchment. At that beautiful. You know what? Let's take it over to Papa. Your chicken pot pie, dear.
Chicken pot pie.
Well, I'm trying to do a different variety of chicken meals with the in-between the roast and the soup so that you don't get sick of chicken. It's hot. Mm-hmm. That's all leftovers. Leftover meat, leftover veg, except for the onion.
A nice flaky crust. Nice and flaky and back on board.
Thank you, darling. Okay, here's our chicken broth. I've taken the bones out. I'm going to go through it for meat. But now we're going to make a chicken minestrone soup. First off, we're going to take that broth and we're going to add onions, dehydrated celery, and carrots. You go ahead and use fresh vegetables if you like. And then we're going to put in a can of kidney beans. And a can of tomatoes. Yum. And I have this one fresh pepper from the fridge that was starting to go a little soft. Ah, now see, that makes everything pop, doesn't it? Look at that. There it is. Chicken minestrone soup. Doesn't get any better than that. This is the Mrs. Volpe from our half-acre homestead, and that's your latest one chicken, 4 meal video. I'm going to eat some of this soup, and we're having spaghetti tomorrow. Take care. God bless.